All right. So next we're just going to talk about how Xbox has been killing it this year, especially recently. So let's start with the Xbox TV app beta. Xbox has been trying to push game streaming hard for years, and this is a huge step in that process. So I downloaded the TV app to check it out and thought that Balatro would be the perfect game to test it out. And it works great for indie games like Balatro and Hades, which I also played an entire run with minimal hitch.
Dope.
I had the best Balatro run of my life. It was incredible. And but for games that don't require a lot of horsepower, it's perfect. But if you want to play something like Doom Eternal, which I tried to play because I was like, if there's anything that's going to push this, it's going to be Doom Eternal. And plus, I just had Doom in my soul at the moment because I'm excited for Doom: The Dark Ages. You'll need the best internet in the world to avoid low frame rates, input lag, and the image quality dipping. But this is a step in the right direction. And since Balatro doesn't have cross progression yet, at least, I think that I'll download the Xbox app on my phone to play Balatro because I want to be able to, I don't want to have to
take it on the go,
lose all of my precious data when I get it on my Switch.
Right.
So I'm going to wait for them to add cross progression because I think they got to do it eventually because so many people play it in so many different places.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think Local Funk is working on it right now because there's supposed to be a huge content update coming out sometime this year, and we've been getting little teasers about it, but nothing concrete yet.
All right. So next we have South of Midnight. So I've been playing South of Midnight, and I'm on chapter 4, and it's been great so far. To remind everyone what this game is about, from the creators of Contrast and We Happy Few, South of Midnight, Compulsion Games is the name of the studio. South of Midnight is a spellbinding third-person action adventure game set in the American Deep South. As Hazel, you will explore the mythos and encounter creatures of Southern folklore in a macabre and fantastical world. When disaster strikes her hometown, Hazel is called to become a weaver, a magical mender of broken bonds and spirits. Imbued with these new abilities, Hazel will confront and subdue dangerous creatures and tangle the webs of her own family's shared past, and, if she's lucky, find her way to a place that feels like home. When a hurricane rips through Prospero, Hazel is pulled into a southern Gothic world of memory made real and must embark on a journey to rescue her mother and safeguard her hometown. This is really cool. The game opens with an incredible, actually real stop motion animated cutscene, and the rest of the game's art and animation tries and I think succeeds to mimic that style. You've seen it; it looks really cool. It's visually a very beautiful game. So far, the story is fun, and I'm really enjoying the characters. But I'm still super early on, so I don't have too much to say about it. It seems like the gameplay loop will surround platforming and fighting enemies called Haints, as you attempt to uncover the various bosses' trauma and use Hazel's powers as a weaver to help heal them. In terms of gameplay, it's honestly a little too basic for my taste, and that's been one of the biggest complaints about the game so far. But the story, world, and art direction makes you want to keep playing. And I love learning about Black myth and folklore, so I'm really excited to keep playing it. There's also a bit of overlap with Sinners, which I'll talk about in the review. Next we have Clair Obscur Expedition 33. It released last week, the Thursday before recording this on April 24th. 2 incredible review scores, developed by Sandfall Interactive with a team of 33. Expedition 33 follows the titular group as they leave their home continent to seek out the Paintress, an otherworldly woman who wakes up once a year and paints a number on her monolith, and everyone of that age turns to smoke and fades away. Year by year, that number ticks down, and more people are erased. The game begins with her painting 33 and the main character, Gustave, played by Charlie Cox, aka Daredevil, watching his partner fade away. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to get far into the game in anticipation for this episode as I wanted to, due to just some unforeseen circumstances that happened last night. But the bit that I played was fun. And the real-time dodging and parrying during enemy attacks in turn-based combat will take some getting used to, but it is fun, and I'm excited to explore what looks to be like a beautiful world based on all of the trailers we've looked at over the last year or so. The scene where we see everyone disappear when the paintress paints 33 on a monolith is sad. And it helps paint the picture, so to say, of the desperation these people find themselves in as they slowly inch toward oblivion. And like, him and his partner essentially broke up, but for this final day basically got back together because they kind of like didn't agree about having a kid, because they were both like, they're in their early 30s, because like she passed away because she was 34.
Right.
And he's 33, I think. And she didn't want to have a kid because it was like, why do I want to have a kid when they're just gonna die in a couple of years? So
right,
she like didn't want to have a kid, and it was like, damn, crazy work. And they broke up because of that. And I was like, damn, that's a very like unique problem. And there are multiple people out there with kids, and like she, at the beginning, they give you the option to play as her a little bit and walk around and talk to people. And she talks to this lady who has a kid who's the same age as her and is about to die and leave her kid behind. And the lady is like, "Oh, I didn't know that you were dying today too. I didn't know that you were 34. Why didn't you have a kid?" And then she's like, immediately like, "Don't talk to me about this," because I didn't want to leave a little girl behind like you are. And it was sad. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. It's really good so far.
It is really sad.
Yeah, I hear that this game can get real sad, so I'm prepared.
Oh boy.
But to wrap up the glazing of Xbox, they recently shadow dropped a remake of Elder Scrolls Oblivion, which I have downloaded.
They did.
And we'll check out before next episode. And according to Oblivion fans, it feels like more than a remaster, so I'm very excited. And Doom: The Dark Ages releases next month on the 15th, which will be here sooner than we think. Which means the Switch will be here sooner than we think. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
They recently released, funnily enough, a trailer about it coming to PlayStation as well, that outlines a new realm that they'll be exploring in Doom: The Dark Ages that I'm really happy about, and it is the cosmic realm, as in cosmic horror. There's even a Cthulhu-like creature that I'm sure will be a boss. The demons in Doom aren't really demons as much as they are aliens from a different dimension. So I've been hoping that they'd lean into that one day and introduce a new enemy faction. And that's exactly what they're doing with the cosmic realm and these cosmic enemies, which is really cool. Ooh. Introducing cosmic horror into the Doom universe, which is really fun. Plus, Xbox has a lot more coming later this year, like Ninja Gaiden 4 and Outer Worlds 2. So, they're just killing it. They're killing it. Even though a lot of this stuff is third party, it's still, all of it's going to be on Game Pass, which is how I'm playing a lot of this stuff. I'm playing Expedition 33 on Game Pass. I'm playing, I've got to the point where it's like, I don't know if I'm ever going to unsubscribe to Game Pass. Just, I get a lot of good shit from it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Game Pass is great. Xbox, if you want to pay me, I'll gladly advertise Game Pass all day, all night.